Linda's Pantry, and as you see in the title, I'm gonna have a delicious Mexican-inspired pork stew. Normally, I have this and I make it in a Posole with hominy and the enchilada sauce, which I'm using my home canned enchilada sauce. I may need another container of this, which is fine. I'm also using my home canned beef bone broth. That is delicious. You could use chicken in place of that, but either way, it's fine. Now I've got a pork loin instead of a pork butt that I've cut up into big chunks because it does shrink as the meat cooks. I'm gonna brown that first, and then I'm gonna add my sauce and just let it simmer away, and I'll be topping it. And also know that normally you would put hominy in there, but too carby, so I'm going to top it with some fresh cabbage or coleslaw mix, jalapeno, cilantro, sliced radishes, and it's gonna be divine. And I'm telling you, it's so satisfying because it's so full of the robust chilies flavor. Oh, delicious. All right, and if you haven't watched my video on home canned enchilada sauce, this is a killer recipe. It's so good, and it's so easy to keep it on the shelf for pennies compared to what the store-bought bland version costs. All right, I've cut up half of this pork loin. It was a pretty big one. I'm gonna see if that looks like it's gonna be enough. If not, I'm gonna chunk up the other half. All right, come on in and I'll show you browning it off. A little bit of olive oil, that's all you need, salt and pepper. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead. I added a little bit of olive oil, but I'm gonna add probably the equivalent to a tablespoon or so. Not too bad. And I already feel that heat coming off of there, so I'm gonna go ahead and start browning. You may have to do this in batches. We don't really want this to steam necessarily, but I want a little layer of flavor on that, so there you go. Okay, right. So I've got my pork. Obviously you can see the pieces are browning. You just have to let them go ahead and get some brown on that. And some of it, I mean, it's gonna steam a little bit, but because I've got this loaded up. But if you just let it sit, they will get brown. And I did generously salt and butcher cut, cracked, you know, coarse ground black pepper. Absolutely a necessity for this, in my opinion. Well, I forgot to turn the camera on. I put a pint jar of enchilada sauce in there. I'm gonna put the second 1.5 pints. I don't think I'm gonna need the broth, to be really honest. And it's gonna be delicious. Oh, I might rinse this out, but that's plenty. So I will leave, oh, this is gonna be so delicious, you guys. I will leave a link down below, like I said, for the Curtis Stone cookware, and you guys, I do need to rinse this out. You gotta get all the good stuff out of your jar. So rinse a little bit of that out. If I feel like I need some chicken or pork flavor, or, you know, bouillon in here, I can always use some chicken bouillon if I need some more flavor to it. I will taste it in a little bit. I have some Knorr's bouillon cubes. Like I said, I was gonna use the beef stock, but the bone broth, but I'm gonna save that for another day. And yeah, so I'll bring you back when this is all done and we've got all our toppings all cut up, and yeah, you can see. Oh yes, it's gonna be so good, and just a really comforting bowl of soup. All right, there you go. I'll be back. Okay, so I cut up a bundle of green onions. That's gonna be part of my topping. I did want to bring you back and let you know. I've got this red bell pepper is already cut, so I'm gonna put that in there. I'm gonna show you how I do my radishes. This is a little mandolin from Tupperware that is amazing. Literally, this is all you do, and you get perfect sliced radishes. Perfect. See-through thin. Look how thin those are. You can't slice radishes that thin. They're delicious. Anyway, it's a perfect way to get your radishes all sliced up for your posole. And or, you know, some people are gonna call that chili Colorado. I'm gonna tell you, whatever you call it delicious, because it truly is. So it's super easy, once again. And my Tupperware link is down in the description box below. This is one of the handiest little gadgets, and it has, you know, it stops itself. But there you go. I've got plenty of radishes for toppings. I'll probably do a few more, but you literally can see through them. They're so paper thin. For topping this soup or stew, yes. I think I will. I'm gonna do a couple more because I can use them in my salad too. All right. Then in my chopper, a little mini chopper here, also from Tupperware, I'm gonna use, I'm gonna do my jalapenos. And I'm leaving the seeds in these bad boys because I'm not scared. I love chopped jalapenos with the seeds, without the seeds, because I want a little heat in the background, and to me, jalapenos are not hot. So, if this is a spicy one, which you can usually tell by smelling it, or you can touch it and taste it, you know, stick your tongue on it, a little bit of that, but like I said, I'm not scared. So you just put your little lid on, and I really didn't have to handle them much. And then you just pull, and you're done. You have chopped, diced jalapenos, very fine. Okay, so the pork is tender, it's done, it's delicious all by itself, but I'm gonna go ahead. I bought 2 15-ounce cans of hominy, and I'm gonna go ahead and rinse this, or I already rinsed it, I'm sorry, and put that in, and then it's officially posole. Now you can use white hominy or yellow. This happened to be yellow, and there's not so much in here that I can't, you know, I'm not going to feel guilty about it. I do like using the pork loin because it's a little leaner. You know, you've got some fat cap on it, but even though I'm eating low carb, I don't want to eat high concentrates of fat that's not necessarily the good fat. The olive oil, coconut oil, avocado oil, the fats from avocados, the grass-fed butter, that kind of thing, I don't mind. Grass-fed beef, but when it comes to pork and chicken, I want to keep it on the leaner side. All right, let's dish up a bowl with some toppings and call it delicious. I can't wait. Okay guys, so the posole is done, and I can't wait. A little bit of hominy in each little bite, and that's plenty. I don't need a ton. If I was making this trying to be a little more authentic, I'd probably add another can or two, but I'm not. So I'm gonna dish up my bowl right now, and yum. Oh, doesn't that look delicious? Might have a little bit more. And it's brothy, but when you put the toppings on it, it just sends it over the top because you've got all these fresh toppings that make it crispy and crunchy, and my mouth's watering, just so you know. I'm gonna top it with some shredded cabbage. I love this. And then you're getting all these good vegetables too, so get that in there. Some red bell pepper, which I don't know if that's really traditional, probably not, but I like it and I had it. So radishes, sliced radishes, and get those on there. Radishes are good in soup anyway. If you've never tried it, you're missing out. Definitely some jalapeno for some heat, because it's not hot, it's full of flavor, but it is, yes, delicious. Okay. Some green onions, and then we're gonna have to take a picture. Oh my gosh. Now, some people will use a white onion, and that's fine. You can do whatever you like. You are the boss of your posole. Okay. Or your Mexican stew. And I'm telling you, this is going to be absolute comfort food. Oh, okay, I'm going to get a bite before the pictures so you can get a taste test. Mm. 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 Mm-mm-mm. Oh my gosh. Guys, I hope you try this. It's absolutely wonderful. And it's still really cold here, so I'm glad I made this today. It's just a perfect Super Bowl Sunday dinner / afternoon feast, and it feeds a crowd. So I've got plenty for whoever else wants to eat some. All right, guys. I hope you guys had a great Super Bowl. Your team won, and you're rooting for the next year's team. All right. We'll talk to you soon. Bye.